Beowulf, Part 14. Then in the morning, as I have heard, around the gift hall was many a warrior. Leaders came from far and near throughout the wide ways to behold the wonder, the tracks of the monster. His going from life did not seem grievous to any man who saw the course of the inglorious one. How, weary in mind, beaten in battle, fated and fugitive, he left behind him on his way thence to the mere of the monster's marks of his life-blood. Then the water was surging with blood, the foul welter of waves all mingled with hot gore. It boiled with the blood of battle. The death-doomed one dived in, then, bereft of joy in his fen refuge, he laid down his life, his heathen soul, when hell received him. Thence again old comrades went also many a young man, in merry companionship, the brave men riding on horses from the mere, warriors on bay steeds. There Beowulf's fame was proclaimed. Oftentimes many a one said that neither south nor north between the seas, over the wide earth, under the vault of the sky, was there any better among the warriors, more worthy of a kingdom. Nor in truth did they blame their friendly lord, gracious Hrothgar, for that was a good king. At times the men doughty in battle led their sorrel horses run, race against one another, where the landways seemed fair to them, known for their good qualities. At times the king's thane, a man with many tales of exploits, mindful of measures, he who remembered a great number of the old legends, made a new story of things that were true. The man began again wisely to frame Beowulf's exploit, and skillfully to make deft measures, to deal in words. He spoke all that he had heard told of in Sigemund's mighty deeds, much that was unknown, the warfare of the sons of Wales, the far journeys, the hostility and malice of which the children of men knew not at all, except Fitela, who was with him when he was minded to say somewhat of such things, the uncle of his nephew. For they were always in every struggle bound together by kinship. They had felled with their swords very many of the race of giants. There sprang up for Sigemund after his death no little fame when the man bold in battle killed the dragon, the guardian of the treasure. Under the grey stone he ventured alone, the son of a chieftain, on the daring deed. Fitela was not with him. Yet it was granted to him that the sword pierced the monstrous dragon so that it stood in the wall, the noble blade. The dragon died violently. The hero had brought it to pass by his valor that he could see the ring hoard as he chose. The sons of Wales loaded the sea boat, bore to the ship's bosom the bright ornaments. The dragon melted in heat. He was by far the most famous of adventurers among men, protector of warriors by mighty deeds. He prospered by that earlier, when the boldness, the strength, and the courage of the Hermund lessened. He was betrayed unto the Etuns, into the power of his enemies, quickly driven out. Surges of sorrow pressed him too long. He became a deadly grief to his people, to all his chieftains. So also many a wise man who trusted to him as a remedy for evils lamented in former times the valiant one's journey, that the prince's son was destined to prosper, inherit his father's rank, rule over the people, the treasure and the prince's fortress, the kingdom of the heroes, the land of the Skeldings. There did he, the kinsman of Hygelac, become dearer to all men and to his friends than he. Treachery came upon him. At times in rivalry they measured the yellow streets with their horses. Then the light of morning had quickly mounted up. Many a retainer went bold-minded to the high hall to behold the rare wonder. The king himself also, the keeper of ring treasures, came glorious from his wife's chamber, famed for his virtues, with a great troop, and his queen with him measured the path to the mead hall with a band of maidens. Beowulf, Part 15. Hrothgar spoke. He went to the hall, stood on the doorstep, looked on the lofty gold-plated roof and Grendel's hand. For this sight thanks be straightway rendered to the Almighty. I suffered much that was hateful sorrows at the hands of Grendel. Ever may God, the glorious protector, perform wonder after wonder. That was not long since when I looked, not ever to find solace for any of my woes, when the best of houses stood blood-stained, gory from battle. Woe widespread among all the counselors who had no hope of ever protecting the fortress of warriors against foes, against demons and evil spirits. Now the warrior has performed the deed through the Lord's might, which formerly all of us could not contrive with our cunning. Lo, a woman who has borne such a man among the peoples, if she yet lives, may say that the ancient Lord was gracious to her in the birth of her son. Now I will love thee in my heart as my son, Beowulf, best of men. Keep well the new kingship. Thou shalt lack none of the things thou desirest in the world which I can command. Full often have I for less cause bestowed reward on a slighter warrior, a weaker in combat, to honor him with treasures. Thou hast brought it to pass for thyself by deeds that thy glory shall live forever. The all-ruler reward thee with good things as he has done till now. Beowulf spoke, son of Ecgtheow. We accomplished that heroic deed, that battle, through great favor. We risked ourselves boldly against the might of the monster. I had rather that thou couldst have seen him, the fiend in his trappings, weary unto death. I thought to bind him speedily with strong clasps on his deathbed, so that he must needs lie in his death agony by my hand grip, unless his body should slip away. I could not, since the Lord willed it not, prevent his passing out. I did not hold him closely enough, the deadly enemy. The foe was too mighty in going. Nevertheless, he left his hand, arm, and shoulder to serve as a token of this fight. Yet the wretched creature won no solace there. No longer lives the malicious foe pressed by sins, but pain has embraced him closely with hostile grasp, with ruinous bonds. There the creature stained with sin must needs await the great doom, what judgment the bright Lord will award him. Then the son of Ecglaf was a more silent man in boasting of war deeds, when the chieftains beheld by the strength of the earl the hand, the fingers of the monster, stretched out to the high roof. Each at its tip, each place where the nails were, was like steel, the heathen's claw, the monstrous spike of the fighter. Everyone said that no well-tied sword of brave men would wound him, would shorten the monster's bloody battle fist. Beowulf, Part 16. Then it was quickly commanded that Heorot should be decked within with hands. There were many there, men and women, who made ready the wine building, the guest hall. Woven hangings gleamed, gold adorned on the walls, many wondrous sights for all men who look on such things. That bright building was all sorely shattered, though firm within with its iron clasps, its door hinges burst. The roof alone survived all scatheless, when the monster stained with evil deeds turned in fight, despairing of life. That is not easy to avoid, let him do it who will, but he must needs seek the place forced on him by necessity, prepared for all who bear souls for the children of men, for the dwellers on earth, where his body sleeps after the banquet fast in its narrow bed. Then was the time convenient and fitting that Healfdene's son should go to the hall. The king himself wished to join in the banquet. I have not heard of a people who showed a nobler bearing with a greater troop about their giver of treasure. The famous ones then sat down on the bench, rejoiced in the feast. It seemed fashion they took many a mead goblet. Brave-minded kinsmen were in the high hall, Hrothgar and Hrothulf. Harrowrot within was filled with friends. Not yet at this time had the Skeldings practiced treachery. The son of Healfdene gave them to Beowulf a golden ensign as a reward for victory, an ornamented banner with a handle, a helmet and a corselet, a famous precious sword. Many saw them borne before the warrior. Beowulf took the goblet in hall. He needed not be ashamed in front of the warriors of bestowing of gifts. I have not heard of many men giving to others on the ale bench in more friendly fashion 4 treasures decked with gold. Around the top of the helmet, a jutting ridge twisted with wires held guard over the head, so that many an old sword, proved hard in battle, could not injure the bold man when the shield-bearing warrior was destined to go against foes. Then the protector of earls commanded 8 horses with gold-plated bridles to be led into the hall, into the house. On one of them lay a saddle artfully adorned with gold, decked with costly ornaments. That was the war seat of the noble king when the son of Healfdene was minded to practice swordplay. Never did the bravery of the far-famed man fail in the van when corpses were falling. When the protector of the friends of Ing gave power over to Beowulf, over horses and weapons, he bade him use them well. Thus manfully did the famous prince, the treasure keeper of heroes, reward the rushes of battle with steeds and rich stories, so that he who wishes to speak truth in seemly fashion will never scoff at them. We'll go on with part 17 in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you guys. I love you. As Tigger says, ta-ta for now.